Hello, my name's Lydia, and I spent a number of years out on the mission field in Asia and then more recently in the Middle East. And I am a huge fan of cross-culture training before hitting the mission field. And in actual fact, I would go as far as to say it's absolutely the difference between being successful and lasting out long-term on the mission field and burning out within a short period of time and having to head back home. I myself was fortunate enough to receive some really good cross-culture training in my early days on the field, and it really made a huge difference for me. As I was preparing to head out to Asia, I was thinking, well, you know, I've lived away from family for a while and we're in a different town and I'm pretty good at making friends, so I'm sure that, you know, once I get a handle on the language, probably things will start to go smoothly. But actually what I hadn't understood is that there is this absolute emotional minefield that you step into when you start living cross-culturally. More than just a short-term mission trip or a visit, you really start to feel the weight of a different culture and some of those culture clashes, and also just the emotional stress that you feel from, you know, having to figure out, where do I even buy vegetables from? And I can't even ask a simple question. And how do systems work in this country? And then the process of learning language and also just the adjustment that it takes to become functional in another society. And so I definitely feel like I was able to give myself grace because I understood better what culture shock was, because I'd received some good teaching and training and was told, you know, have grace for yourself. It takes time, it takes patience, which was incredibly valuable to me. Also, when I started to really step into ministry in another context, just understanding the differences between my own cultural filter that I see the world through and the context that I was in and the culture there, and, you know, the difference between Western culture and a shame honor culture, and how people view different sort of heart aspects such as love and forgiveness, and what do these concepts mean, what does God mean in another culture and another language, all of these sorts of things. Having that cross-culture training enabled me to really tread carefully and to approach my new cultural context as a learner, and to really listen and try to understand how best to love people well in that context, and also how best not to offend people, step on toes and push people away absolutely accidentally, but also how to introduce Jesus into a culture that is brand new and very different from my own. And so again, it's a minefield, and it's very easy to make mistakes if we just sort of try and transplant our home life into another context. So in terms of cross-culture training, it's absolutely valuable. And also, I really believe that through that training, we kind of catch the heart of God for what it means to be a diverse people, and, you know, this amazing song that's going to be in heaven of these different tribes and tongues and languages and these different cultural approaches, and just the privilege that it is to be welcomed into that and invited into God's plan for the nations. And so absolutely, I would highly recommend cross-culture training. As I said at the beginning, I do believe it's the difference between making it on the field and being successful and being healthy, and burning out and getting discouraged and going home early. So absolutely, cross-culture training 100% is a must.